Hear us? All right, there we go.
There he
Perfect.
is.
There he is. There he is. The fairest
Welcome,
amongst the land is with us.
welcome to the Dirt on Gardening podcast, guys. Everyone hey, you guys want to introduce yourselves here? I'm Andre the Farmer. We've got down below me here. Who do we have?
I am Graylin Brown of Urban Gardening with Gray. Just call me Gray.
All right. All right. Now this is episode 22, I believe, right?
Oh,
Yeah, it's episode 22, and I know we're going to focus on science, but tell me, guys, what's going on in your lives? What's going on? What you guys do this weekend? What's new?
well, I'll take it first. Sorry, I'm gonna just jump in and I'm gonna double dutch. Look, I'm feeling left out because I wasn't with y'all last Monday, but I had to go get some dental work done. But we had a good weekend over here at the Brown house. The kids had their football game. My son plays flag football. He's 6 years old, and so most of the time he spends out on the field, he's like chasing a butterfly, but he's enjoying himself and having a good time. My 9-year-old daughter, she's a cheerleader, and she's learning all her cheers. So we had us a good weekend.
Oh, let me see those. Can we see those teeth? You said you went to the dentist.
Yeah, there we go. Great. Hey. Now, see, I felt a little bit like Tim Meadows there for a moment. Like, hey, have a nice cavatier.
Tim
Tim Meadows, yeah, the ladies' man from Saturday Night Live.
Oh, okay.
We are here for the ladies' man. Derek this weekend. That's a very good question. I'm making sure people on YouTube can hear me. Derek this weekend went and trimmed some orchid wink flowers, and those beautiful orchids wink were so amazing. If I say the real name, sometimes I feel like social media comes after me, but they're beautiful beautiful plants that the people enjoy. They come from India. People sometimes smoke their orchids, wink. And I had a beautiful time at Pharmacy's Farm. The devil's lettuce indeed, right? That whack it out back here. So it was a beautiful time being out there at my friend Pharmacy's Farm, Green Heifer Farms. Be sure to check her out. What did you do, Andre?
I'll tell you what. This was a very rare weekend when I did almost nothing. I worked on the garden, and by almost nothing, it's probably still a lot of things because I did go over to a friend's house and do a mango tasting and a little tour of their garden, and then I did a video tour of another food forest. And this guy's got a regular sized backyard. He's like on 2/10 of an acre, and he has well over 100 fruit trees. It is a jungle in his backyard, and it is amazing. And you can see that on the YouTube page if you want to watch the whole video. Lord love my ask if they can ask a question. Of course you can ask a question. Questions are free. You can ask questions all the time. If you guys have a question, put them in the comments. I'll try to make a note of them, and we'll get to them as soon as we get a chance. I know today we want to talk about science and the science of gardening, the science of plants. And we can't have better people than a trained, educated botanist and a master gardener to talk about the science of plants. Now, Lauren asked about the air layer in 9B. I'm not sure if that's a question.
They may want to know tips on air layering in 9B.
Well, one, I think you can do that year round in 9B. I think you can air layer pretty much all year round in 9B. I'm in 10A, and I air layer all year round.
Ria, that's her name. Ria.
So, Ria. And if you check out Andre's page, Ria, he does so many tutorials on air layering, right? Tutorials for every day of the week. So you can go and check him out and be able to see what's up. And for the people who are asking about those orchids, remember they were at a friend's place, so you would have to check out Farmer C. Farmer C, like the letter C, CEE. You would have to check out her page because she's had hers growing outdoors and in a hothouse, and they look stunning. I got pictures on my page.
Now, another question was like, they want to know about those orchids. When do you harvest them? Because this person says theirs are pretty thick.
Yeah, so like I said, I've not grown that crop, but I did go to do some trimming of flowers. It's a task I'll never do again. It's so much manual work, and I don't mind manual work, but I just didn't feel like I was doing a good job. So that was like, never again, Derek, we're not going to do this. But if you hit up Pharmacy or a friend of mine, Luna, they'll be able to tell you. For those of you who want to ask those questions, DM me and I can send you to the people because they know better than I.
Now, Ma West asked a question. Corn, bean, squash, the three sisters. Is that a real thing or just here's? Yeah, I think this is right up their alley here.
It is.
Well, yes, it actually. I mean, it does work, and you have to take into consideration why it works, right? So there's a logic behind everything we do in the garden. I know with me specific, Andre and Derek, there's a method to the mayhem. So your beans, your legumes, the reason why you're using those beans for that three sisters method is because your beans are nitrogen fixers. So they can feed the nitrogen that the other two plants will need. Your corn, that's going to grow up vertically, right? So it's working against gravity. It's going to work up phototropically and going to grow up gravity. And your beans are going to climb up that. So your corn is giving your beans something to travel up. And your squash, that's your ground cover. So that's going to cover the ground and keep your soil nice and cool. They grow in like a symbiosis because they all are complementing one another. Now, I know we talk about companion planting a lot here, and this is the epitome of companion planting. One thing to understand, because I got into a very spirited debate with someone this weekend on companion planting. Companion planting is not the end-all be-all. You still will suffer from elemental issues, environmental issues. You will still suffer from pest issues. It will just be minimal. So don't think that, I got an aphid on my corn. This three sisters method companion planting, I'm gonna just throw the baby out with the bathwater. No, don't throw it all away. But it definitely will help you significantly.
Now somebody is making some noise in their headphones. I'm not sure who it is, but there is some real roughness. Like, I don't know if we could all try individually muting and see if it goes away. Like, I'm gonna mute me first.
It's not me. You cannot hear me.
I'm talking. Can you hear me?
All right, you mute for a second.
I'm muted. Oh, I am already muted. You
All right,
can't hear
so
me at
now
all.
I'm going to talk.
I'm
And
pretty sure it's great.
me. Okay. So
I was going to say,
Why don't you mute for a second? Let's see.
mute for a second.
Okay, hold on.
Hey, Lord Jesus, it sure was him. I was hoping nobody else would notice, but I was like, Lord, this is all. I don't know what it is. It is you. I don't know. Is there like a wind tunnel in your room? Are you in a turbine?
I don't know.
It is. It's a fan. I forgot my fan is on. Let me turn my fan on.
There we go. So see, this is where we're fixing the sound. And as we're fixing the sound, we can help you all fix the issues with your plants. So make sure you're commenting questions below, whether you're watching this now or in the future.
Well, I'll tell you what. Speaking of fixing things, if you're using tools around your garden, you definitely need your Retain spray.
That's a good one.
This is going to make sure that all your tools last the full lifetime that they're supposed to. And it's going to make sure that they're sanitized and clean. So when you're doing those grafts and you're pruning those trees, you're not bringing diseases from one plant to another. You're not getting bacteria and fungal infections. Retain is all natural. You can get it on Walmart.com and also RetainSpray.com as well. Great stuff.
And you can get it on Amazon.com because Amazon is amazing. That's how I pronounce it. So get it today. And Andre, you swear by this stuff, don't you? With all your grafting you do?
Oh, seriously, yeah. I'll tell you what. When you're grafting, every little bit counts, and the slightest bit of infection can decrease your graft success rate from like 80% to 60%, and that makes a difference because it could be that one special graft that you really care about. And having clean tools is crazy important. Unless you want to walk around with a bottle of hydrogen peroxide by your side, that this is a great option, and it also lubricates your tools as well, and it's all natural.
That's beautiful. Right. Retain, I got a quick question. Can I pick up this bottle in the Walmarts? Because if I can, that'll be great. Yeah, I'm asking in the Walmarts. Is it in there? Because they said the big bottle's only at the Walmarts. Can I pick it up? Let me know. They gonna ask that question. We keep going.
Okay.
All right. So Is my audio better now?
Oh, you're much
Yes.
better.
Much better.
Yeah, guys, it's so funny because I forgot about the fan because I keep this room is climate controlled for all my plants. And I got the fan and it was pointing right into my Bluetooth. So yeah, that was all on me. My bad.
All right. And apparently peroxide will rust your tools. So this is
It's an
definitely
oxidizer, so you have to be careful.
all right.
Yeah.
Someone said, "Can I get cucumbers to thrive?" I have the same problem personally. My cucumbers will not grow here at all. My gardening season is May to September. Are these hard to grow? Well, from my experience, people that live up north, cucumbers seem to be a super easy thing to grow. In Florida, they seem to be a little more difficult. But what do you guys think about cucumbers?
I'm gonna say it's for me. It's gonna depend on the variety that you're growing. I've had several cucumbers. Like a friend of both Andre and I gave us some national pickling cucumbers, and they were great cucumbers. But my kids did not like the taste. They produced pretty well, but they just did not care for the flavor. For me, the ones that I like the most that do the best are going to be the burpless cucumbers. Those I always get the most production out of them, and they make a pretty nice elongated cucumber, and they taste nice and fresh. So for me, it's more the variety than anything. And then, of course, your soil mixture. You really have to make sure you're locking in that moisture because cucumbers like to feed. They're thirsty. They're thirsty girls. So make sure you lock in that moisture by maybe putting in some straw mulch on the top of your soil to lock in some of that moisture and keep those temperatures cooler. It depends on where you're growing them, though. Now, did they say where they were growing them at?
Well, the season is from May to September, so I'm assuming that they're in the northern climate.
Canada. Okay. Yeah, Canada. It's funny because I know Andre is our resident Canadian, but I actually have a friend that's from Canada as well. I want to say he's from Ontario, and his name is the Gen X Gardener. He's on YouTube. I don't think he's on Instagram. I'm going to give him a little bit of plug here because he is an awesome guy. Like, we instantly clicked soon as we met. We have never met face to face. Like me and Derek, we've talked all the time, but never met face to face. Gen X Gardener, he does a lot of things out there in Ontario. Check him out on YouTube. I believe he does grow cucumbers out there, and I think you should still be able to do it. Even though you have a shorter window, it can be done.
Listen, my mom and cousins and aunts and stuff that don't garden at all, they basically will put a cucumber seed in the ground, and then in the fall they go and they just collect dozens of cucumbers. Like, just with zero effort, like nothing. They're just giving away cucumbers to their friends. And I'm like, how hard it is for me to grow like one cucumber, and I'm like focused on this thing. Like, I spend $50 and man hours into this cucumber. I don't even like cucumbers.
What? Oh my God, Andre!
Like cucumbers? I don't even understand how anybody likes cucumbers. Like, cucumbers don't even make any sense to me.
I'm gonna skip over that. So for those of you who are growing,
food. Like,
it is delicious. You get you some cukes and some onions and a little bit of vinegar, Jesus, a little bit of cukes and some squash, a chopped fresh cucumber in a salad, Jesus. Okay, but you don't even eat watermelon, so we can't trust you. With the people that are growing those things in that cucurbit family, so gourds, watermelons, cantaloupe, honeydew, cucumbers, all things Andre don't eat. What you have to remember is, like Grace said, they want a heavy feed and water and fertilizer, and they want a lot of light, right? A lot of light, a lot of temperature. So if you don't have a very well lit full sun, which is 6+ hours of light outdoors, you're not going to get much but vines. You're not going to really get a lot of flowers.
Part of my problem. I don't have a lot of full sun spots. It's hard to spot on my property to get 6 hours of full sun.
Yeah, and see, because of that, and you have all your trees and stuff, you're prioritizing things that end up kind of negatively impacting other stuff. And that's just part of growing in general, because we are talking about light and stuff today. You need light, and light is important. And before we go to the other questions that are on the Instagram, we have one on our YouTube, because we are streaming on YouTube as well. Lazy Mama says she container grew some blueberries, but they didn't get too big or too sweet. She want to know what she did wrong. And I'm sure y'all grow blueberries, so y'all can tell her.
Yeah. Andre, you want this one or let me take it?
That's all you, Greg.
Blueberries. one day my goal is to eventually become like the king of blueberries in Texas. But I love blueberries. With your blueberries, they're going to need several things. Okay. One, it would be nice, Lazy Mom, if I knew which variety of blueberries that you're growing. Because if memory serves me correct, you're out in New York. So we need to make sure that we're picking a variety that does well in your environment. Second thing, blueberries need to have acidic soil. I want to say that you and I had a conversation offline about that acidic soil. If you do not have that access to those nutrients that blueberry is going to need, if you don't have at least a 4.5 to a 5, I mean, we're talking really acidic, almost borderline vinegar, almost acetic acid. We're talking 4.5 to 5. It will not work, and you will kill every single blueberry plant. How do I know? Because I have killed 10 blueberry plants until I eventually learned what I was doing wrong. I had some basic soil. I was a basic gardener at the time. So you need to have that pH level be correct for those blueberries. And then, but you said you got some berries, but they weren't big or sweet. Blueberries actually, depending on the variety, really depend heavily on cross pollination. So you gotta have multiple varieties of blueberries around. That's why I grow so many of them. I have six blueberry shrubs at the moment. Oh no, seven blueberry. I just bought a new one. I forgot about 7 blueberry shrubs, and of the 7, there are at least 3 different varieties. I have Premiers, Climax, Tiff Blues, all growing together because they need to have that cross pollination that's going to give you better berries and better yields on your berries. So if you have it in your budget to be able to at least get a second variety of blueberry, that might help your blueberry out too.
Tell you what, I'm having some trouble with my blueberries. Like I got some blueberries here, and it's funny because when I first started growing blueberries, they grew very well. And the last couple of years, they've seemed like they've been struggling. And I just got some new blueberries, and I have them in pots. And I feel like and I've tried to acidify the soil, and every time I do, I acidify it and I measure it, and it's just not really becoming a much lower pH. And I think that I'm going to actually take them out, bare root them, wash off the roots, and just create my own soil, make my own soil mix that's acidic, and repot them completely, starting from scratch.
And that is a great idea. Like Retain Spray mentions, you can get in the United States for people soil testing for generally free. Not always, but in most cases free from your cooperative extension offices. If it's not free, it is relatively cheap, and it is access to legitimate information. So that's some good stuff to keep in mind.
Yeah. And one more thing about the blueberries, Andre, that's a great idea because I'm glad you mentioned that. Trying to take a neutral soil and make it more acidic is almost like skating uphill because you're constantly fighting because soil naturally wants to go back to neutral. So if you take that soil, you take those blueberries out, clean them out, because blueberries root system is not very deep. It's really shallow. Mm-hmm. So take those blueberries out, clean it up, and then start with an already acidic soil. That will be your best bet going forward.
We love to see it. And Lazy Mama does add in, she bought a pH meter. Lazy Mama, if you have any of us, because you're already talking to Greg, I want to talk to you about your pH meter. So DM me on the Instagram. Because I know about a thing about pH and buffering out stuff. Because when something is difficult, like soil, it can be hella hard to get it to acidic. Especially like if you're, depending on how hard your water is and other things going on outdoors, it can be a hell of a time. So, cool beans.
And so sometimes just creating your own soil, repotting your own soil. The gentleman that I did a tour of his garden this weekend. I know you're a big soil guy, Gray, and you're the chocolate botanist. So you guys will get this. So basically what he does is he repots every plant or tree that he gets with his own mix. And he creates what he calls a mineral mix, which is very light on organic matter and more dense in sand, like crushed granite and stone and all this stuff. And just a small amount of organic matter in it. And basically his thing is that these plants are planted in such dense organic matter that there's just like poor drainage. There's no oxygen down there. It gets compacted. And it's great temporarily for the plant, but long-term for the plant, he sees a lot of these plant pots struggle. And he basically bare roots everything and puts them in his own mix. And when I was telling him, like in Mexico, there's almost no soil in the ground. It's all just rock and dust, basically, and trees and plants thrive in it. They grow really well in that stuff. So I don't know. I'm thinking about repotting a bunch of my stuff.
I would love to see his mix.
I have the mix. I'll post it. I'll post his mix.
Yeah, and send me some pictures too, because I know you can post it for them. But I said me. They didn't ask. These other people didn't ask. I said I would love to see. But I know we got a lot of questions here. The people are really loving us today. So I don't think we're going to get to these topics at all because the people have a lot of questions.
Hey, but that's what we're here for, though, right?
Organic store blueberries? I don't know.
I don't know what that meant. If you are saying that they don't taste flavorful, organic store blueberries in general are fruit is, I'm not going to say that because it's going to go down the wrong path. Keep going.
Yes.
But going back to that soil, though, I'm sorry, because you mentioned about soil, that's one of my loves right there. I agree with your friend, dude, because I said it a couple of weeks ago over at our online community, Better Gardener. I was saying it to my folks over at Better Gardener. I was like, hey, I don't want to be a conspiracy guy, but like a lot of these soils lately, there's a lot of organic matter. Where's the minerals? And I mean, if we look at the composition of soil that, like we're not even talking about in the store, like soil, like let's look at actual soil outside in your yard. It's more mineral. It's only like 5% organic matter. So when you have all that moisture retention, you are breeding the perfect, breeding ground for disease. So yeah, I totally agree with you, buddy. That's why most of the things I do, I basically repot and essentially sandy loam everything.
Yep.
So I'm right there with you.
A lot of sand. You would think sand would be the worst thing, right? But
no, it's good for drainage. I use playground. Like if you go to like your Home Depots or your Lowe's and you get that playground sand, I will often use that as a way to keep my potting mixes from becoming super hydrophobic.
Yeah. He uses the I think it's like the paver sand, the sand you put in between your pavers or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes, I'm actually going to look into it because I have some plants in pots because I'm possibly moving, so I'm trying to not put everything in the ground, and they don't look super great. They struggle a little bit. I feel like a good repotting with some really good soil would be the solution. With some real mineral soil would be the solution. So I'm going to really try to learn his formula, and I'm going to share it with you guys as well. I'll make a post about it. I'll make a video about it on my page, and I'll share it with all you guys too as well.
Yeah, perfect. That'd be great.
And I can send
Karen
you.
is Karen.
Do you use mycorrhizal products, Andre?
I have some, but I don't.
Okay. I'll talk to you offline. A person on the YouTube or the Instagram is asking, are wild blueberries healthier? So they love blueberries. They eat them in the oatmeal snack, right? Are wild blueberries healthier? I'm guessing in opposition to like those that are cultivated. What do y'all think?
Well, I'm going to say it like this. Okay. So if we're taking our garden variety, organic blueberry that you get from your grocery store, like for instance, one we have here is a chain called HEB in Texas, and you compare that to a wild blueberry, I really don't know if there's one, let me just say this, because I always say this. I am not a nutritionalist. I am a gardener. I garden. So do not back none of the information. This is all opinion. This is not science back. And I want that to be the precursor to anything that I'm about to say next. But honestly, I don't think that there's really going to be that much difference. I mean, if somebody wants to eat a blueberry, it's a blueberry. So eat the blueberry. I mean, if we're looking at like antioxidants and stuff, right? Because that's the thing. That's the word they use in all the stores. Like it's got antioxidants. Anything that naturally has that darker purple color has antioxidants in it. So no matter if it's a store-bought blueberry or if it's a blueberry that's picked in a wild or a red bean for that matter. One of my friends back in the day, Adriana, I used to love her because she was the one who corrected me on antioxidants. She said, guess what? A penny has antioxidants as well. I was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. A penny does have antioxidants in it. It's a blueberry. So I say go with either one. That's my opinion on it, though.
Listen, I'm going to say that that's the kind of question that I hate. All right. And I'll tell you why I hate it. Because we're worrying about the wrong things. If you're eating a blueberry, you're already won, right? Let's say one blueberry has 50% more nutrients in it than the other blueberry. Just eat 50% more of them. Like, it's not like you're comparing like a lifesaver or a Jolly Rancher to a blueberry. Like, it's a blueberry. Why are you worrying about which blueberry has more nutrients for you? It's a damn blueberry. Eat it. Right?
It is. So
this reminds me of, like, I posted a video about the honey, right? Well, not even honey. It was a video about tea. I was making ginger tea. And without a doubt, I already know what comments are coming, right? It's don't put the honey in the hot water. You're going to decrease the nutrients of the honey. Like, dude, listen, I am not eating a tablespoon of honey for nutrients, right? I'm doing it to make my tea sweet, right? So if I get 50% of the nutrients, whatever nutrients honey's supposed to have, from that honey, like, I'm going to eat food that day, all right? I'm going to be fine. And the other thing, and then the metal spoon thing too. Like, the metal spoon, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, there's no harm using a metal spoon with honey. Yes. Like,
you are dealkalinizing the tea, and when you don't run into the alkaline, electric, melanated body, as Dr. Sebi said, you will just fall down the road of degradation, unlike our good Dr. Umar. When it comes to these blueberries, I agree with what they are all saying. Eat them, because, it's wild. Blueberries are just wild. Like, cultivated and healthy has so many meanings. So that's kind of a question that's difficult to answer. But in general, it would seem that those that are not wild would, off of just being cultivated purposely, fed purposely, taken care of purposely. So we got another question off of the YouTube, and I know this is for you too. How do you guys grow peach or plum cuttings? I'm sure, because I don't know if I told y'all this today, Andre has about a good 101 acres, okay? We call it Dalmatian Lane, okay? He got one for each Dalmatian in that book, the 101 Dalmatians. His mom and daddy really loved it. They gave him 100 acres. There's a whole story. Ask him about it another day. Go ahead, Andre.
All right. Well, first of all, I have 101 acres minus 100. But
he's being so humble.
Peaches and plums do not grow from cuttings. Now, whenever I say that, someone will tell me about how they grew a peach tree from a cutting. It's kind of like mango trees. They don't grow from cuttings, but nature's funny. Like, there may be a miracle branch that grew from a cutting one time, but they're not plants that regularly grow from cuttings. That's not the way you propagate peaches or plums. Generally speaking, you can air layer them, or you can buy a grafted tree, but you're not going to make more peach trees or plum trees from your cuttings, unless it's a hog plum, which is not really the kind of plum you're talking about. But that grows from cuttings. So you just get another tree. That's the way you do it. Now, there's another question here. Someone said they have 8 huge watermelons growing in Alabama. The vine is not brown yet, but the weather is getting cool. They're worried that they're not going to get the reward for their work. What do you guys think about that?
What was the fruit again?
It's a watermelon. They have 8 huge watermelons. It's getting cold now, and they're worried that they're not going to be ready in time, I guess.
So, Derek, weren't we going to talk about light today?
We were.
And I know we didn't really get to it. So do you want to use this as a little bit of a segue into light?
Yeah, kind of light in temperature and just like how long. Because this question, it depends on when you started those watermelon, right? Because if you didn't start them like early enough in your season, and you would be anywhere between zone 7 and 9 in Alabama, you might not have enough time. But also light hours are important. So like light, if you already have them developed, you need more light energy. That light energy touches the leaves. And if it touches the leaf of your plant, making sure the YouTube can see me. If it touches the leaf of the plant here, this is my leaf, and the light is hitting it and it gives it the energy, that fruit can keep developing even though the temperatures may not be what we want them to be. Also keep in mind, due to climate change, I mean, we're probably going to be hot until Christmas. So you got time, but it's just about having that light energy and not having anything dangerous to your plants, meaning like a pest, a kid, or like a heavy rainstorm. Because if you have a lot of rain too much, too quick, sometimes it can bust your fruit open. So light would definitely be important. You know, watermelon want full light. Most other fruits and vegetables they want full light. Get 6+ hours of light.
Yeah.
And if they can get that, even if that stem doesn't all the way brown, right, you can still generally kind of eke away with getting a watermelon that's good to harvest. But I know Gray got something for us too. Here to click.
Well, I was going to talk about, because we were talking about light and everything, and this was going to kind of be our segue into talking about photoperiodism in plants. Because, we talk about a lot of the common things, but, we have a plant biologist with us. We have a botanist with us. So a lot of times I'm a science nerd. I get, excited about learning about plants, learning about the biology of plants. Honestly, I should have went into botany as well because I love it so much. That's when I'm on a plane. That's my light reading. I'm literally reading about plant science. That's my pleasure right there. But because when it comes to watermelons, now unfortunately they aren't. What we're going to talk about today is photoperiodism in plants, and we were going to talk about how much light plants actually need to be able to develop. A lot of plants, it's more about how long the days are and how short the nights are. That's really what's going to determine their whole entire, progress on how they develop. Now, when it comes to watermelons are actually day neutral. So it's really about their maturity. So going back to what Derek was saying before, it really depends on when you planted those watermelons, which is really going to determine when they're going to be ripened enough. And even though the temperature is starting to change, it really is going to depend when you planted them, when you started those plants going, and how much sun they're getting to not to warm up the leaf, but to give them the sugars, the glucose that they need to be able to do what they need to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, because they need 120 days. Like most of your gourds need 4 months from like really becoming an actual like first true leaves to getting to that point of having a good amount of fruit set. And it just takes so many factors, so it's kind of hard for us to say. But speaking of saying, I'm sorry, I got distracted. I'm going to handle something in a second. So the person on YouTube, they're saying, so no cutting, growing. They're basically, I guess, asking about these trees. So just to confirm, like Andre and them saying, plums, peaches in them, they're not going to really grow from cuttings like that. You may just want to get an actual tree that is doing its own thing. And I do see that person. We don't have to talk about them.
I would have talked about, but and Andre, if I can jump in here for a second and piggyback off what you're saying, it's like Andre was saying. Yeah, there's some anomalies because actually I did do it once with one of my peach trees. I actually had a peach tree go from a cutting. But it's so rare, it's not even worth the effort. That's what Andre is really trying to get into. It's such an anomaly. And I had one grow from a cutting. But the thing about it is when it's growing from a cutting, to Andre's point, most of the trees that you're going to get in any big box store that are grown and sold commercially are going to be grafted onto a rootstock. That rootstock is really what's going to give your plant its real health benefits. And benefits for the plant itself. So it's going to give it its disease resistance, its ability to grow in different types of soils and so forth. So if you're taking a cutting, you're only taking that part that's fruiting. That's going to be different than a rootstock. So even if you do get it to root, it's problematic because that, let's say it's a Georgia peach, right? That Georgia peach that's growing up on the top of that, is it going to be able to survive in that Houston soil that you have? Because Houston soil and Georgia soil is going to be two different types of soils. So that's really why you want that grafted one, because it's going to have that whole picture. It's going to have the rootstock and it's going to have that root, that grafted on point that's going to give you that desirable fruit.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right, because I think that if I took 10 cuttings from your peach tree and I treated them like my life depended on it, I could probably get one of them to root. I'd probably get lucky enough that one of them would root, but it's really not a great way to try to propagate that. Now, things like mulberries, yeah, they'll go from cuttings very easily. Figs, yeah, great from cuttings. But most of the woody trees, you're going to need to air layer or get a grafted tree.
Yeah.
Now, someone had a question here about seed banks, but a different kind of seed bank. It's something I've never heard of. We're going to read this question here. Have you guys ever heard of the term seed bank applied to weed seeds laid in your plot? The idea being that if you disturb the soil and say sow some lettuce, some fall lettuce, the weeds can spring up and dominate instead.
So in some of my plant biology, ecology, bioecology classes, we have talked about that. And in a certain amount of soil, there is some amount of wildflower seeds. We say weed, but really it's wildflowers that are out there growing, doing their own thing before we decide to terraform the land and turn it into something that it's not. So that's kind of where that old adage comes from, is like 1 year seed, another 7 years weed, right? That's kind of, if you heard that from your gardening, peoples, that's kind of where that comes from. This is also where we started to use and utilize weed and feed and these pre-emergent herbicides that will literally stop seeds from germinating of these weeds, so you can kind of be able to fight back. In general, I've used those in landscaping for others. I've not really used them for myself heavily, but it's a thing that happens and it's just a part of nature. And sometimes, for me at least, I just like to see what comes up because I'm cool and perky.
Someone had a question about avocado leaves as tea, and yes, pretty much all of your fruit tree leaves you can make tea with. I've made tea with avocado leaves. I've made tea with pretty much every fruit tree that I have, and to me they all taste very similar. Cinnamon leaves actually taste a little different to me. The allspice leaves taste a little bit different, but most of the leaves, mango leaves, all of them pretty much just taste like, they kind of just taste like tea to me, but they all have their own specific benefits and things that they help with.
The word benefit triggered something in me because I think it would benefit all of you. Make sure you get you some Andres pepper sauce. When it comes to getting this pepper sauce right, it is effing delicious. Excuse my French, but that was English. When it comes to this pepper sauce, you can get it in the hot, okay? And for those of you like, I don't want my mouth to be burning, get it in the sweet. Sweet is delicious. I put this stuff on everything. So when you get this, you can get this from theandrethefarmer.com, right? You go there, you purchase it. It's made by him. All natural ingredients, fresh stuff, honey, pineapple, onions, Carolina Reapers. He put all types of good stuff in here. And it's going to make your food taste even better than it is. Get you some of this today.
Turns good food great.
Good food even greater. So yes, we got a question up here. Lisa, I know you're asking about these because she's asking the questions about this here, these trees and stuff and air layering. Lisa, here's what I want you to do. When it comes to these questions, it'll be easier if I talk to you one-on-one. I want you to hit me up on my Instagram because I know you are like, I'm just trying to grow my fruit orchard. I see it in you. I see a vision.
Let me answer Lisa's question a little bit here, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
That's a really good point. For the most part, not much is different. When you air layer, all it's going to do is give you a better chances of success tree. However, you have the same problem with not having a rootstock. So you've got the same issue, but you're going to start with solid roots from the beginning. And a lot of times, you don't know if that particular tree is a reasonable rootstock or a very poor rootstock, but you'll at least have a tree. But you will still run into the same problems of possibly not as disease resistant, not as cold resistant, not as adapted to your particular region. But if you're doing it to just have a tree for yourself, sure. The problem I have is when people air layer and then sell the trees, because if you're buying a tree, you might as well spend that money on a grafted tree. You're going to get a stronger tree. As a gift, an air layer tree is great. But if you're paying for it, man, you got mosquitoes?
Gnats, I've been killing them. It's a very long story. I'll talk about it next week.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've got something for that. Sonia's bug spray.
Lord, look at you, admin. Sonia's bug spray. Tell us about that, please.
Sonia's bug spray is, I don't even want to call it a bug spray because it's not really like a bug spray. It's more like a lotion that keeps bugs off you. You can put this on and you will not feel sticky. You'll feel like you just put lotion. It smells amazing. I've even heard of people using it almost like a cologne where they'll put it on before they go out just because it makes it smell like lemongrass. It's all natural. You get it on sonyasbugspray.com. You get it on the Amazon, on the TikTok shop as well. And it's amazing stuff. sonyasbugspray.com.
And speaking of smelling good, because I know Gray was about to talk about this, but I want to talk about this project here. This is Thrive. Thrive here. I went to my mailbox. They sent me some. I took a whiff of this in my mailbox. I said, I don't know who smells this sexy in my mailbox, but they could get it. Okay? It was the Thrive. These are essential oils for an organic root and soil booster. We are announcing all of our sponsors. If you know the brands that want to be sponsored, hit us up. But this product smells spectacular, and I've used it a little bit. I've seen no ill will towards my plants. So we in it to win it. These are some good products that you should look into.
And I would have mine, but I brought it to Mexico, and I'm using it there. So that's where it is right now.
Nice. On one of them 101 acres.
But going back to Lisa's question, I will say if she wants, because I think right now she's on the YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Once the live is over, once the podcast is over, go to check out my channel. I actually do have a video explaining air layering, but the air layering that you may see on my channel, because I think she's on my YouTube right now, is a trifoliate orange. It's already a rootstock. The trifoliate orange is a plant that they use to graft other citrus on. So the reason why you might have seen that air layering video on my channel is because that plant is already a rootstock. Like, I'm not going to be able to eat any of those oranges from that tree. It's going to be a very, very bitter orange. So I'm air layering that so that I can make more rootstock to graft more of my better tasting oranges, like my blood orange and my page mandarin, onto it. So I just want to make sure we understand. So, because that's where she might have seen it. So just want to clarify that.
So Heart Rooted said, how can I tell if my rootstock is disease resistant? Well, you can't really tell just by looking at it. You have to know where it came from and what the qualities of that particular, seedling are. Because that's what a rootstock is. It's ultimately a seedling.
Yeah. And I mean, I know that some nurseries will tell you exactly what rootstock is on the plant, and then some don't. I don't think there's anything specific that says that they have to. Like, there's a citrus farm that I use out in Hartwell, Texas, that I get some of their citrus, and they will tell you exactly what rootstock it is grafted onto. But I don't think they're obligated to do that.
Yeah, I don't think they are, because they just may tell you it's grafted, but they don't have to tell you that specific one. So this is where you go to like your local farmers markets, your mom and pop shops, because they'll be able to tell you more specific ones.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I'm really not super concerned what rootstock my mangoes are on or whatever. These nurseries, they create rootstock by the thousands, and they rapid fire these things. So they, for the most part, know what they're doing with that. But I want to show you guys something that I got that I'm so excited about.
What you got?
Let me see it. Ooh.
This is the Monstera deliciosa fruit. I have never tried one. At this stage, it is nearly toxic. You do not want to eat it. But when these little hexagons start to peel off, that's when it's ripe. And this is supposed to taste like a cross between a banana and a mango. And I've never had a chance to have one because Hurricane knocked my Monstera down, and the guys cleaning up cut it off at the base. And it's growing back now, but I don't have any fruit on it. So a friend of mine, Wade, gave this. So I'm super excited to try it. I'm going to post some videos about it, but I'm really excited about this. I put it in a brown paper bag and let this mature.
That's great. Is that my buddy Wade in Florida? What's Wade's last name?
I just hit something.
No, we got you. Is that
am I still on the YouTube?
Yeah,
you
we got you.
are still on. Yeah, you're still on YouTube. My buddy, what's Wade's last name? Is this my buddy Wade?
Wade, I don't know Wade's last name. He's in Orlando area.
Okay. I think you're talking about Wade Lee.
Wade Lee, yes.
Yeah. We all friends with Wade.
Wait, I don't know if this is Wade Lee.
He has a podcast?
No.
Okay, never mind. I was about to say, my buddy Wade. I was excited. I was like, Okay, enough of that. The people had, I did what Andre usually does to me. Enough of that. I have 3 lemon trees. I have a lemon tree 3 years now. I got from Lowe's. Looks healthy, but it still hasn't bared lemons. How long should it take? I'm sure both of y'all got lemon trees. How long should it take?
Honestly, anywhere, depending on the size of the maturity of the tree, 2 to 5 years.
There we go. What about you, Andre? What say you?
Well, if it's a grafted tree already that you bought from Lowe's, a lot of times they are fruiting already. Sometimes they're fruiting in the store. So I don't know how big the tree is that you bought. I don't know how big it is, but I have a lemon tree in Mexico and it is not fruiting at all. And what I've done is I've grafted fruiting tree onto it, and sometimes just having one branch from a fruiting tree can stimulate the whole tree to fruit. That's one thing you can try. Also, rusty nail through the trunk create a trauma response.
True. And then plus you got to look at those elemental factors as well. Are you giving it enough sunlight? Are you getting enough water? Are you fertilizing, following the fertilizing schedule? Because with citrus, they depend on that sun. If you're not getting at least 8 hours of direct sunlight, they will not blossom for you.
Yeah, sun is tremendously important for those citrus. Someone asked about air layering a persimmon tree. His neighbor has a big persimmon tree. Like that's a good reason to air layer. Like if your neighbor has a tree that you like the fruit on, that's really good, and they're okay with you air layering it, you got your permission, then that would be a good reason to do it. Yeah, you can definitely air layer a persimmon. I almost feel like persimmon might be one of those trees that grows from a cutting. I feel like it has that kind of vibe to me, like a cutting kind of tree.
It might be, like for instance, like when you were talking about figs, like figs can grow from cuttings because they actually don't need any rootstock whatsoever. You can take a cutting from a fig and get multiple fig trees, no problem. Mm-hmm. Now you made me think about something, Andre, and I heard about this a couple of months ago in your wonderful state of Florida. When you were talking about, ask for permission before you just go air layer on somebody's tree. Have people been stealing mangoes off of trees in Florida during mango season?
Yeah, that's a thing. That's definitely a thing. Yeah.
That is the craziest thing in the world. Like people just walking up to somebody's tree and getting their mangoes.
Well, a lot of times people have trees that sort of like will be along a fence line. Now, technically, if stuff hangs down over the fence, like I've picked mangoes off the ground. Like I know there's spots where trees hang over, and I'll pick the mangoes off the ground. I won't take off somebody's tree, but if they're on the ground and they're on the other side of the fence, I'm gonna pick them up. If they're good, I'm gonna pick them up. But I know people that will take a mango picker and they will reach over the fence up into the tree and they will harvest mangoes from the tree. Now,
that's doing a little much.
It is doing a little much, and I'll tell you what, this is Florida, okay? So you will not see me reaching over anyone's property in any way, shape, or form because this is Florida. I don't think I need to say any more than that.
Derek, could you imagine having Andre on the news, like famous farmer, Andre the farmer, caught stealing mangoes from somebody's yard?
The local plant influencer steals mangoes for years at a person's yard. More 6.
I'm not worried about being caught stealing mangoes. I'm worried about being shot stealing mangoes. That would be more of a concern. But yeah, it's pretty common. Fortunately, my yard is so far back off the road that nobody even knows there's mangoes back here. So
that's good. That's good. That's what happens when you are, in a house surrounded by woods and forests and all the acres. What's the next question?
Let's see. Trying to find the next question here. People go with apples here. We have a problem with citrus here. We have that problem with citrus here. Yeah. Well, in Florida, we really can't grow citrus anyways because of the citrus greening disease. So that's kind of something that just is sort of growing in other states now. Citrus is just too much work to grow in Florida now. It's not really worth the squeeze. They are coming up with a new tree. CRISPR, they've made a new tree with CRISPR. It's a GMO orange that is resistant to the citrus greening. It's not available to the public yet, but it should be coming out soon. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that won't want the oranges from it I feel like economically it's a bit of a waste of time because people are going to reject that orange.
Because it's genetically modified, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But see, this is the perfect example of why if I can say it, genetic modification is beneficial because you have a specific problem and they are problem solving using science to eradicate the problem so you can go back to be that citrus producer you once were,
Look, Plants by Jay already said no to GMO, right? So basically it's no oranges in Florida then, right? Forget about
I think the thing is when people say that, when it comes to like people being afraid of GMO, like, oh, it's not natural. 5,000 years ago, genetic modification happened in nature with sweet potatoes. There are no sweet potato that you can get that was not already modified through the same process that we later discovered. That is the genetic modification. So I think a lot of people have an apprehension and a fear to it. But I feel like if you have a good grip of science, a good grasp of science, you know that it is the next stage or evolution of breeding, and it's something we need to survive because right now we're not making enough food to feed the world. Even if we probably account for all the waste, we're not making enough food to feed the world. So you can't say I want to feed people, but also no GMO. It can't be left and right.
We got to learn to feed. We got to learn to grow more food on less space, not less food on more space.
Exactly. And last thing is they're not going to produce cancer because we don't even all the way know what causes cancer in the first place. You can get cancer by walking outside and standing in the sun a couple of minutes too long. You had some bacon one day that gave you cancer. There are so many things. You can just have a genetic predisposition. It's a trigger word that people use and they lump it in, and we got to stop that lumping.
Right.
Got to stop that lumping.
Yeah, there's no mechanism for GMO and cancer. Those two things are not related to each other. It's kind of like, I feel like GMO is a lot like evolution. Like I've never met anyone that understands evolution and doesn't subscribe to evolution, right? I've never met anyone that understands GMOs that is against GMOs. Like it's always out of not understanding and just fearing the thing. It's never someone who actually knows what the thing is. You ask them to explain the thing and they have no idea.
And I get the fear, I get the apprehension. God knows I do. We just have to, we got to do better. And if you do want to come to me and respectfully talk about GMOs, my inbox on. My inbox is always open. I'm here to go into it and go into why we need it. And how, hopefully, if it's ethically done right, companies don't knock farmers over the head, we can really do something.
Yeah.
Right on. Good point. Good point.
So, guys, we're coming to the end here. What do you guys have planned going forward? Do you have any special plans? Great. I know you've got some big things going on. Can you share any of those things, or are those things like?
Well, I can't talk a lot about it, but I do have some projects that I'm going to be working on. I can say this: if I have any fans that are in the state of Maine for October, I will be in the state of Maine working on a top secret project that I'll be working on. But if you are in the state of Maine, maybe I can find some time in between filming schedules and maybe we can go check out, I don't know, somebody inbox me and tell me what's there to do to Maine. I know that Stephen King is in Maine, but I really don't know much about the state. So do me that favor. Tell me the best places to go. Tell me about, I don't know, botanical gardens, nurseries. Where should I hit up in Maine? Do that for me. In that month of October, I will be in Maine. Let me know where to go.
The Greater wants y'all to know, but he's going to go and do a live reproduction. They're recasting Murder, She Wrote, and he's going to be on the cast at Cabot Cove in Maine. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all in. We ain't have no secrets here. Cabot Cove in Maine. They got one of the people is going to be playing Jessica Fletcher. They got that woman that was Mary Poppins. She's going to be the new Jessica Fletcher in the Murder, She Wrote series. Julie Andrews. So I don't really have.
What part of Maine? What part of Maine? What part of Maine?
Yeah, can you say?
Bangor, Maine.
Bangor. That's not. It's close to Cabot Cove. Y'all look it up.
Sorry, go ahead.
Cabot Cove. The people get it. They see what I'm referencing. So he gonna go out and see Jessica Fletcher. Anywho, I don't really have much going on this week. I'm gonna be doing some plant stuff. I may go live later this week. I don't know. We'll see. I ain't really been feeling it. That's it. What about you, Andre? What you got?
All right. Well, I will be in Georgia. I will be in probably in the middle of October. I will be in central West Georgia, right next to Alabama. What's that little town right across from Georgia? It's Alabama. It's famous. There's a lake there, and I always the name has a weird name. I always forget it. Anyways, we have to go to Alabama in order to like eat dinner because like we're so close to Alabama that there's like nothing in Georgia around us. But anyways, I'll be there. It's kind of towards the end, and my days are usually wide open because we do hunts in the morning and hunts in the evening. So if anybody has like a garden or a farm that they want to do a tour on in that sort of that'd be a southwest corner of Georgia, Alabama. I don't know if I'm going to be jumping too far into Alabama, but probably give it to Georgia. But yeah, then I'll come by and do a tour there or something like that. But other than that, I don't have much going on. I'm supposed to have another fishing trip going on in October, but I'm not going to be going on that. Yeah, and that's about it. But
Nice.
let's see. Any other questions, guys? If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. We got like 3 minutes left before the show's over. Any questions, feel free to ask.
We got this one from YouTube. They were asking their peace lily keeps going and coming, and they have it under a grow light. But I think the brightness is too high. What I think is too high is your expectations of that peace lily, because peace lilies suck, and yeah, it probably came from some family situation. I respect that, but they don't want to be in any situation that changes. So they don't want super bright light. They don't want it super dark. They want light that you can almost barely read in, that kind of median, intermediate light. They don't want to be super dry. They don't want to be super wet. They want just right. So if you're not hitting that Goldilocks zones for peace lilies, you might as well go ahead and grab a hanger out your closet and hang it up. I hate to say it, but they're
No wire hangers.
no wire hangers ever. Okay, I know all the references today. So with that, like that's what I would say about your peace lilies. But if you hit up Gray or myself, you got peace lilies, Gray?
I unfortunately love torture as well. Yes, I have a piece.
I figured you would. You ask him, because don't ask me. I don't keep those things in the house. But you ask him, and you'll be good.
Well, I definitely don't have a piece of land. I don't have any house plants other than my mango seedlings at the office. That's about it. Let's see. They're so temperamental. Yes, obviously.
Terribly temperamental. That's why I don't like them. And somehow I keep getting pigs in my house. I'm like, what is wrong? What is happening? I feel like somebody's cursed me. Some voodoo.
What in your house?
Figs. I got this fig here, and I got a fig I saved at the dump that I thought was a plant that I can't remember the name of right now.
Plumeria. You thought it was a plumeria.
I thought it was a plumeria, and you're really enjoying that. And it's actually a fig, and I'm really disappointed.
Like a fiddle leaf fig?
It probably is. Oh, we got a last question from the YouTube. Any advice on beginner-friendly fruit and vegetable plants and trees to start with? I say grow whatever you love to eat. I always say that. Herbs are easy, but grow what you love to eat, and you'll find joy and keep growing. What say you all?
Great.
Herbs. I know Andre's gonna say the same thing. But grow everything you can. No. Start with herbs. Herbs are easy.
Listen, grow everything you can get your hands on because you have no idea what's going to be easy in your yard or not. So grow everything you get your hands on. Someone's going to live, someone's going to die. And that's how you're going to find out what the easy things are, right? So grow everything.
Don't listen to him at all. I say go herbs because of easy victory, easy wins, easy victory. Basil, it grows like that.
My wife broke a branch off her mango tree. Should I prune it or leave it? I'd probably prune it. Can you grow dates in Florida? I've never seen anyone with grow dates in Florida. I have not seen that. I think I'm too humid for it. I'm not sure.
Dates are Mediterranean, right?
Yeah, I think it might be a little too humid here for me. That might be more of an Arizona kind of Texas thing, maybe. But anyways, guys, we are out of time. We will be back next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, every Monday. That was episode 22. We're moving along, guys. That's 22 episodes. Have we been doing this that long?
Wow, our show is old enough to drink.
It is,
If you could drink it 22 weeks, yes, it would be. All right, guys. Thanks
Take
for
care,
watching, guys. See ya.